law of contribution. Growing yourself enables you to grow others. If you're not doing something with your life, it doesn't matter how long it is. When I started my growth journey after my conversation with Kurt Kampmeyer 40 years ago, I had no idea where it would take me. In the beginning, I only knew that I needed to grow and that I had to be intentional about it. I must confess that in the beginning, my motivation for personal growth was selfish. I wanted to grow so I could be successful. There were goals I wanted to accomplish and milestones I wanted to achieve. But along the way, I made a life-changing discovery. My progress in personal growth also opened the doors for others. It made it possible for me to make a contribution to them. It led us not just to the achievement of success, but to work of significance. Out of what I had received in my development, I was also able to give. The confidence I gained from personal growth gave me credibility and made me believe I could start developing others. And in that, I found life's greatest joy and reward. It is my hope that this final chapter will inspire you to be all you can be so you can help others to be all they can be. You cannot give what you do not have. But if you have worked to learn or earn something, you have the ability to pass it on to others. If you live by the law of contribution, you will have much to give other people, because growing yourself enables you to grow others. Early inspiration. Adding value to others is a high priority in my life. This desire was stirred in me as a teenager when I read about Benjamin Franklin, who once wrote, "I would rather have it said, he lived usefully, than, he died rich." More than just words, it was the way Franklin lived his life. For example, when he developed what came to be known as the Franklin stove, he could have patented it and made a good income from it. Instead, he decided to share the invention with the world. I would rather have it said, he lived usefully, than, he died rich. Benjamin Franklin. According to Dr. John C. Van Horn of the Library Company of Philadelphia, Franklin's philanthropy was what I call of a collective nature. His sense of benevolence was aiding his fellow human beings and doing good to society. In fact, in one sense, Franklin's philanthropy, his sense of benevolence, was his religion. Doing good to mankind was, in his understanding, divine. Franklin didn't see the world in terms of how much he could make from it. He saw it in terms of how many people he could help. He helped develop the concepts of the lending library and local fire departments. Even his work as a printer reflects his desire to share ideas, not hoard them. One of the things that struck me as a teen was reading that every day Franklin asked himself in the morning, "What good shall I do today?" And in the evening, "What good have I done today?" That inspired me. It made me realize that I could become more intentional in my ability to help others and keep myself accountable for it on a daily basis. As I have gotten older, that has changed from being merely a good idea to becoming my greatest desire. Every day Ben Franklin asked himself in the morning, "What good shall I do today?" And in the evening, "What good have I done today?" This became crystal clear to me when I had a heart attack in 1998. In the moments I lay there in pain, not knowing whether I would survive, I wasn't afraid of dying. I had two thoughts. The first was that I wanted to make sure the people closest to me knew how much I loved them. But the second thing I thought about was that I still had a lot I wanted to accomplish. I had contributions I still wanted to make. 51 was too young to die. I later learned that David Ray of the Young Presidents Organization says that most CEOs are less afraid of dying than they are of not making a contribution to their world, so my feelings are evidently not unusual. CEOs are less afraid of dying than they are of not making a contribution to their world. Good modeling. My desire to help others didn't come only from reading about great leaders, such as Benjamin Franklin. It was also inspired by good modeling from my parents. For years I watched my mother, who was a longtime librarian, become the chief encourager and confidant to many young women at the college where my father served as president. She made a difference in so many of their lives. I also saw it from my father. I watched as he served the people of his congregation when he was a local church pastor. Then I saw him serve and add value to pastors when he worked as a district superintendent. And he continually added value to students and faculty alike when he led the college. And Dad's still helping others. A few years ago, Dad was getting ready to move into a new assisted care living center, and he let me know that he wanted to be the first person to move in when it opened. That's important, son. I need to be first, he emphasized. Now, it's a Maxwell family trait to want to win at anything and everything, but I suspected that Dad was up to something. Why do you want to get there first, Dad? I asked. You see, he responded, there will be a lot of old people moving into that facility. Dad was in his late 80s at that time, and it's going to be foreign to them. And they're going to be scared. I want to be all moved in so I can greet them as they arrive, introduce myself, show them around, and let them know that everything will be all right. When I grow up, I want to be more like my dad. Be a river, not a reservoir. How do you increase your chances of being able to help others and make a significant contribution in your lifetime? Think of yourself as a river instead of a reservoir. Most people who do make personal growth part of their lives do it to add value to themselves. They are like reservoirs that continually take in water but only to fill themselves up. In contrast, a river flows. Whatever water it receives, it gives away. That's the way we should be as we learn and grow. That requires an abundance mindset, a belief that we will keep receiving. But as long as you are dedicated to personal growth, you will never experience scarcity and will always have much to give. Recently Margaret and I heard Gordon MacDonald speak. He challenged us to find someone who could encourage us and then to become an encouragement to others. He asked the following questions. Who mentors you and offers a baseline of wisdom? Who mentors you to aspire to be a better person? Who challenges you to think? Who cheers on your dreams? Who cares enough to rebuke you? Who is merciful when you have failed? Who shares the load in pressurized moments without being asked? Who brings fun and laughter into your life? Who gives you perspective when you become dispirited? Who inspires you to seek faithfully after God? Who loves you unconditionally? These questions are excellent for identifying someone who can encourage us to become our best. But we should also turn them around so we think about taking on a similar role with others. Whom do you mentor? Do you share the load in pressurized moments without being asked? As former President Jimmy Carter said, I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can with whatever I have to try to make a difference. I have one life and one chance to make it count for something. My faith demands that I do whatever I can, wherever I am, whenever I can, for as long as I can with whatever I have to try to make a difference. Jimmy Carter. Making the right contribution choices, giving of your time, expertise, and resources without expecting anything in return is an unselfish act that makes the world a better place. We need more givers. I can't explain why it works this way, but when you focus more on the wants and needs of others, more of your own wants and needs are met. In contrast, when you choose to hoard what you have, rather than give, you become the center of your own lonely universe and you become less content, not more. As a result, you repel both people and potential blessings. You can become a more generous and giving person, even if you already exhibit those qualities. However, to do that, you must be a growing and developing person. And you must be intentional in your efforts to add value to others. Here are some suggestions to help you cultivate an attitude of contribution. 1. Be grateful. People who aren't grateful are not givers. They rarely think about others, they think only of themselves. Their days consist of looking for others to help them, give to them, serve them. And whenever others don't fulfill those expectations, they wonder why. Their selfishness keeps them from sowing and their ingratitude makes them wonder why they don't reap a harvest. When I was a kid, my dad helped me to understand that everybody depends on and gets help from others. He used to say, when you were born you already owed your mother for 9 months of room and board. And after I started to pursue personal growth diligently, the concept of others helping me along the way was reinforced. In 1975, when I went to see Zig Ziglar speak for the first time, he said, You can get everything in life you want if you help enough people get what they want. Those words stuck with me. And it became obvious to me that many people had helped, and still were helping, me along the way. Every author who wrote a book that I read. Every leader who took the time to teach me. Every individual who worked as a volunteer in my church. No one succeeds alone. Many years ago I came across the following words that express this idea. I don't know who originally wrote them, but I've quoted them, and tried to live them. For 40 years, there is no success without sacrifice. If we succeed without sacrifice, then it is because someone who went before us made the sacrifice. If you sacrifice and don't see success, then someone who follows will reap success from your sacrifice. I am the recipient of many benefits that I do not deserve and did not earn. Someone else paid for them. I am grateful. How do I show my gratitude? By daily pouring into others and passing on to them the things that will allow them to run far and achieve beyond what I have done. As you receive, I hope you will do the same. 2. Put people first. The older I've gotten, the more I've realized the importance of other people. All the things of this world are temporary. People are what matter. Your career, hobbies, and other interests will die with you. People continue on. What you give to help others builds them up enough that they are able to give to others. It's a cycle that can continue on long after you're dead and gone. Treating others well not only benefits people, it also helps us navigate life better and puts us in a place where we can learn from others. As George Washington Carver observed, how far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and strong. Because someday in life you will have been all of these. If you are a leader, putting people first is even more important, because your actions impact so many other people. For example, you hear it said in organizations all the time that people are their most appreciable asset, yet many leaders don't behave as if that were true. I should know. As a young leader, I erred in thinking that my vision came first. I believed that my most important responsibility was to get people to buy into me, where I was going, what I was doing, what I was asking. I thought people were supposed to serve me for the sake of the vision. The problem with that kind of attitude is that the line between motivating people and manipulating them is very thin and easy to cross. When a leader attempts to engage people, the first question they ask is not, "Where are you going?" Their first question is, "Do you care for me?" This is true whenever two people want to do something together, not just between leaders and followers. But people especially want to know that they matter to someone leading them and that their leader can be trusted. Once people are satisfied that your motives are right and that you will put them ahead of your own selfish interests, then they are willing to become partners with you in the journey. That's what they desire to be, not merely passive followers, or worse yet, expendable cogs in some sort of machine you're building. The measure of success is not the number of people who serve you, but the number of people you serve. When people are number one in your life, adding value to them becomes natural. You do it as a matter of lifestyle. You add value to people because you value people and you believe that they have value. The measure of success is not the number of people who serve you, but the number of people you serve.